What's the word, NBA basketball fans? Big Kev and Stev0 back at it again with another rookie review. We're going to talk about what's happening with these young rookies in the NBA right after the intro.
Welcome to the #1 place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's the word, hoops fans? Man, listen, y'all already know, hit us up at NBA Central Pod on all platforms. We appreciate y'all support over here on this channel, and we glad that we back into the swing of things 2 weeks into the season, Steve-O.
Bro, hey, there's a lot of basketball going on. Hey, it's crazy. Like, there's a lot of stuff happening every night. Like, last night, Shea just went off for 43. Like, hey, it's something happening every night. Ant making himself more of a known name in this league as one of those dogs. So, like, it's something happening every night, bro.
And
I love it.
when you get a signature shoe, you got to make it do what it do. And I like what I'm
Hey, for
seeing
sure.
from a lot of these young cats. But we here to talk about the rookies. We already know this is the year of Victor Wembanyama, but Chet Holmgren is making it interesting, and a couple of other guys are doing some, in my opinion, some surprising things to keep the rookie watch interesting overall. But we know it's going to come down to Victor and Chet. And through 7 games, these guys are really neck and neck. Wembanyama has more points, with the exception of last night. He went out there and put up a stinker in his first Madison Square Garden game. But before last night, through 7 games, he's leading in every category, but not by a lot. 136 to 119 in points, 59 to 56 in rebounds, 18 to 17 in blocks, 9 to 7 in steals, and then field goal percentage. Chet is just as efficient as you can be, man. 56% from the field, 54% from 3. Now, Steve-O, last night they both played, so we can talk about how they looked last night. Let me pull up their stats from the 2 different games that they played.
So
How they
yeah,
looked
I
last
could
night.
go. I could go in on Wemby first because I think that's the most obvious answer.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he struggled very bad. He finished with 14 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, which is not a terrible night in terms of just looking at the stats. But when you go deeper into it, he was 4 for 14, 0 for 4 from 3. Did make all 6 of his free throws, but and I think what it was that, for Wemby to have one of his games, for him to get in the rhythm, his defense had to be a big factor. And he only got 1 block last night. So I feel like the fact that he wasn't able to get on his motor going on the defensive side was a lot of the reason why he struggled. Plus, to me, he also, another thing was, he probably went up against the best defensive team that he probably ever seen at this point. So, and they're very physical. They got a lot of size around them. He had to deal with what's the dude name? Mitchell Robinson. What was the dude we wanted? It's not Herder. What was his name? It's Harkenstein. So that's 2 big dudes, physical dudes he had to go up against. They would definitely make sure that their presence was known. And I think it happens. You went up against a team that's had a game plan. Tom Thibodeau is definitely gonna have a plan for you, and we know his team's always gonna have a top team when it comes to defense, along with Julius Randle. RJ Barry had a good game. So yeah, it got whooped on, but it's supposed to happen.
All right, cool. And then moving on to Chet last night in OKC's victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. He looked good again. He looks like he made us some points. Now, here's the thing: that before I move on to Chet, last night, what happened with Victor? He got a lot of garbage time points as well, because that game was well out of reach, really early. Honestly, the Knicks put that game out of reach early, and I believe, I don't know if the bright lights really got to him, but playing in Madison Square Garden, you hear the echoes of Kobe, the echoes of Mike, even all the way down to Jeremy Lin. Like, people have put on shows.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, people put on shows in Madison Square Garden, so the expectations are really high, regardless of the stakes of the game itself. And it looked like it was a little bit too much for him last night, at least. And it happens, he'll get used to it. He's a young kid. But last night, Chet was 7 for 10 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, 7 rebounds to go along with 3 blocks. So it's not going to be just a cakewalk for Victor Wembanyama, even though last week he had the game of his life after beating Phoenix, and they stole the game from Phoenix. They played Phoenix again, and he put up 38 points, 10 rebounds, so on and so forth. The best game that he's had so far as a rookie, and that's not bad. So it's good to see both of these young guys out there showing that the future of the NBA could be bright as long as they stay healthy. At least this version of the future, because obviously the future is always bright. But these are the young guys coming in now behind. Pretty soon Steph Curry, LeBron, Chris Paul, all these guys are going to be gone, and the league is in good hands, Steve-O.
And it's definitely in your hands. Like it's a lot of players you can look at. I'm gonna name some other people. Sure Thompson has made his name out there. He's been pretty solid, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Was
My
a
man
key
is
reason.
averaging. He's
Go
averaging
ahead.
12 points for Detroit off the bench. Uh, 12 points and 9 rebounds. I think he coming off the bench.
Yeah,
And
and almost 10 rebounds.
yeah, and isn't that something that he's the shortest one out of these three, if he's
And I gotta add 2
5'5".
more things. No,
By
they
a
the same
lot.
height. They the
He's
same height.
No, he's shorter than Chet
Oh, I thought you was talking about
and
his brother. Yeah.
he's
Yo,
shorter
yeah.
than Chet and Victor,
Way.
and he's
Yeah.
lead he has more rebounds than both of them.
Yep. And not only that, he got rebounds. He got his assists is pretty high for his position at 3. He's averaging 1
Assists.
point. Yeah, 1.3 steals, along with almost averaging 2 blocks a game.
Yeah,
And they
he's
both
looking
averaging 2
elite.
blocks a game. Yeah.
He's looking elite on defense. I'm talking about elite
And
on
I mean, I
defense.
think we all knew that was a possibility because we knew that was his strongest suit. But when seeing it this early, this fast against quality competition, like we just said, they almost won the game last night against the Bucks. Yes, Giannis did get kicked out, but that's a championship winning team. So, and along Dame side with Dame Leonard. So, hey, I'm highly impressed by him.
Me
Throw
too.
another name at you, Derek Lively,
Lively's been solid.
for sure.
We saw him last week versus the Bulls, and he's doing all right. This is exactly what Dallas needed, to be 100. Like the fact that they decided to hold on to their pick and shore up their front line after getting rid of Christian Wood, who just didn't do anything for them last season. Um, this gentleman is actually pretty solid. He was drafted the number 12 overall, and he's averaging almost a double-double. And you already know, besides the top tier centers, Joker, Embiid, and Vucevic, those guys are your 20 and 10, 18 and 10 type guys after Joker and Embiid. But a double-double from your big man, especially a rookie, is nothing to sneeze at.
No, and that's the key thing that he's a rookie. Like in a double, it's more of a veteran thing because it's almost a science learning when the rebounds is gonna come out the rim, getting assists at the right time. Like we still see people that's in the guard position to this day that's still struggling to get their assists numbers up because they just don't understand or have the fundamental sound of the feeling of basketball or when to get the right passes off, or they just can't pass. And it just say that your young dude is coming out here getting double. You don't need him to blow it up on the scoring side. You just need him to be solid, play defense, which he's doing, and be active on all sides of the board. Like that's really what they've been needing. And they might just found something and a key piece to a core that they can start building around.
And Dallas is, I think, 6-1 right now because they didn't have that inside presence last
Shocker.
season.
I'll give you
And
that's a shocker for.
yeah, and here they are. Well, for me, it's not really a shock. I feel like, trading for somebody as mercurial as Kyrie Irving as late as they did in the season, it could go either way. Like it could help you
He's
go
been
up or
playing because
down.
has he been playing? Because I thought he was hurt.
No, he's been in and out of the lineup. You know how
Okay.
today's NBA is. He's
Oh,
been
he
in
been
and
one
out
of
of.
those.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I do think that he might actually be hurt, but I'm saying like he's
Yeah.
playing one game, playing out. But what I was gonna say about Lively is you can think about Walker Kessler from last year
Mm,
coming into the league
yeah.
and being in the top 5 in double doubles. Not saying that he's gonna reach those heights this season, but he can have a Walker Kessler type career if he stays the course. So good for that young fella, man. Because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't too sure about him when we were doing our draft coverage over the summer. I wasn't too sure about him. I didn't know if he was going to go to Dallas or to the Pacers or whatever. But he ended up in a good situation with Dallas and Luka and them out there. So I'm loving it. He's definitely got chemistry with the starting lineup.
Now I gotta ask you this question to end it off. So, is it any current ones that rookies that you feel like is starting a little slower than you thought they would?
Well, Scoot Henderson, before he hurt his ankle, still was starting off slow. We talked about this last week. Uh, he started off slow. There's no two ways about it. And I expected Black out in
Ah,
Orlando
bro,
to,
yes.
to to start off a little bit better, but they so guard heavy out there. It was kind of confusing that they drafted him to begin with. Like it's gonna be interesting to see how he finds his footing on a team that's just everybody's 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So that those two. What about you?
He was Anthony was definitely one of mine, but Brandon Miller and Jordan Hawkins. I thought just because of the position they was in, I thought especially with Charlotte not playing as terrible as we thought they was going to be. I felt like him coming in, he could be another scoring option where it could be a little bit more easier for I almost call him Zoe Lamelo to carry the load mainly on playmaking and setting everything up. But it's early with everything. And Jordan Hawkins, I just felt like he almost has somebody he can build his career off of that's similar in a lot of ways to where he can be, which is CJ McCollum. So I thought he was going to be one of those big dudes coming off the bench, and he just ain't been doing it yet. But it's early.
So it's two things. I think Brandon Miller and Jordan Hawkins. I don't think they starting off slow. Hawkins already got a 30-point game.
Yeah,
So that's one thing. And Brandon
and he
Miller's
averaging 12.
yeah, they both averaging about the same amount of points, the same amount of rebounds, the same amount of assists. Um,
But I was thinking more 15. Hey,
yeah. So here's the
yeah.
thing with Brandon Miller. He was on that pace until he put up damn near a donut versus Dallas in his first start of the season. That's really part of it because he hasn't really been starting either. I don't know if Jordan Hawkins is starting for the Pelicans, but I know Brandon Miller's only started once for the Charlotte Hornets, and that plays a role in his shot attempts and so on and so forth. So we'll see how those guys look. But surprisingly, I don't even know. I didn't even know who Sasser was coming
Bro,
out of college.
he been hooping.
And right, he's hooping up there with the Thompson twin. Like they out there doing well. Two rookies on Detroit playing really well, and Sasser was playing well against the Bulls when we saw them last week.
Yeah, like he's definitely catching me off guard. I was just sitting here looking at some of his stats, and for one, I didn't necessarily think he will be getting the opportunity that he would because Cade is there, but he
Hmm.
coming in field goal is nice, averaging where did it just go? Oh, there it go. Averaging 10. I didn't think he was never gonna be no close to 10. I thought he's gonna be more around 7 to 8. He got it to 10. I would like to see his assist totals go up a little bit, but one thing I'm liking is he's disciplined with that ball. He don't get many turnovers, and I think that's
Hmm.
one thing that's good. And Monty Williams sees that, so he's definitely keeping him in the rotation for sure.
So yeah, like we know that the season is going to be about Victor Wembanyama, and then Chet is forcing himself into the conversation. You just can't ignore the efficiency that he has. But it's a good crop of rookies out there averaging double digits in the NBA, and a lot of them are 18, 19, 20 years old. So that's telling in and of itself. It's a
You
new
just
era.
mentioned 5. No, I'm lying. 6.
Mhm.
That's averaging double digit.
Isn't that something? So that's just showing you that this NBA is different, man. Like, cause I grew up watching basketball, and there are some people like even Kobe Bryant had to work his way into the league. Whereas these guys, even whether they're top draft picks or whether they're bottom of the first round draft picks, they're still coming in and producing at a high enough level to catch at least the eye of the gentleman over here on NBA Central. We appreciate you all for rocking with the entire Chi-Town sports family from Chicago Bulls Central, Bears Central, Blackhawks Central, White Sox and Cubs Central, Sky Central, and then of course we got the Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. Check us out live tonight over on Chicago Bears Central as the Bears take on the Carolina Panthers. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. I'm your boy, Big Bro. Steve-0, you got anything to say before we dip?
Nah, make sure y'all tune in tonight.
Yes,
We
sir.
gonna need y'all.
We gonna holler at y'all next time. And the Bears need this. Just God. We gonna holler at y'all.
For real.
Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.